I'm about to save you months and maybe even years of you spinning your wheels. If you think you're eating healthy, okay, you're doing everything right, but you're not losing your stubborn belly fat, chances are you're making at least one of these 10 mistakes, and I'm going to save the best until last. If you are new to the channel, my name is Adrian McDonnell. I've coached over 803 clients living worldwide, lose belly fat and stay lean forever. Starting out with number one, and that is intermittent fasting, okay? If you don't know what intermittent fasting is, essentially where you consume all your calories within an 8-hour window and you fast for 16 hours. So the most popular example is you don't eat anything until 12 noon, and then you eat all your calories from 12 to 8 p.m. and you fast from 8 p.m. until 12 noon the following day. And you know what? This worked for me. I did it before for 2 or 3 years, okay? And I stayed super lean. But the reason it worked for me is because I had a plan, I had a structure in place. Most of the clients that we coach at Mac Lifestyle Fitness, they're corporate professionals, they're busy working professionals, and the reason they intermittent fast is just because it's convenient for them. It's a fancy way of saying they skip breakfast. They've coffee in the morning, might drink a bit of water, and have nothing until lunchtime. Lunch is usually something like a sandwich, maybe some pastries on the go, a few snacks thrown in between. You have dinner in the evening when you get home from work, and then what often leads to binge eating at night. The reason they tend to binge at night is because they dramatically undereat during the day. In fact, this is what one of our one-on-one clients, David, did, and we got him eating 3 square meals. He was having 4-hour eating windows, not even 8-hour eating windows, 3-day fast, everything. For the first time ever, we got him eating 3 square meals, and he lost 5.3 kilos in his first 33 days. So what I recommend, if you're watching this video, consume all of your calories within a 12-hour window, not an 8-hour window. But don't be afraid to eat, okay? Eat more of your food. What I recommend is in the daylight hours, okay? And then scale back your food in the evening, because often where the binge eating, the snack and the treats, all those kick in, tends to be after 6 o'clock. So that is why I do not recommend intermittent fasting for the majority of people. Mistake number 2 is also critical to avoid, and that is drinking your calories. So personally speaking, I gave up alcohol about for 1 year now. I haven't drank for 1 year, and honestly, best thing I've ever done. I used to go out the weekend, and from drinking my calories, honestly, one night where you have a couple of shorts, you've got a couple of cans of cider, whatever it might be, that could easily set you back at a couple of thousand calories. So just what I generally recommend is do not drink your calories. It's not just alcohol too. If you go to Starbucks, you get your cappuccino, that's basically 200 or 300 calories of sugar. If you like coffee, if you like caffeine, just get a black coffee, okay? You don't need to add all of the extra sweeteners and syrup to it, okay? Get most of your calories, if you're drinking it, from just black coffee, black tea, water and electrolytes. Stop drinking your calories, it is making you gain weight. As is number 3, and that is the weekend warrior syndrome, okay? One of my clients, Shane, he used to eat healthy Monday to Friday, but because he was so restrictive during the week, this caused an all-out binge at the weekend. What we did to implement this or to change this was we actually got him eating more small mini doses snacks throughout the week, Monday to Friday. And if you have something small, something sweet every single day, this will reduce the craving or the desire for you to actually binge eat at the weekend. So that's why we recommend our Mac Lifestyle Fitness or 90-10 rule. 90% of your calories from whole foods, which still means 10% for more flexibility. And speaking of flexibility, number 4 is not flexible at all, and that is chasing fat diets. Yesterday alone, I spoke to 2 people, both of them tried keto. And both of them lost a lot of weight, but they regained the weight within the same year. So look, if you cannot follow something for a decade, do not follow it for a day. We do not promote any fad diets or quick fix at Mac Lifestyle Fitness. We focus on a few main principles. Number 1, eat mostly single ingredient whole foods. The JERF method, just eat real food, okay? Have a source of protein and a plant, which is a fruit or vegetable, every single meal. And just make sure you're eating the right amount of calories for you and for your individual goal. It does not sound sexy, but I promise you, if you eat mostly whole foods, have enough protein, have enough fiber and veggies, and you stay consistent with this, you will shift the belly fat without following any fad diet or a quick fix. And speaking of dieting though, one big mistake people make is mindlessly snacking in between pillar number 5. I had a consultation call with one of my clients, David, and he thought that, he was eating somewhat healthy, but he wasn't really losing a whole lot of weight. So I just asked him, like, you're snacking on anything in between your work meetings? And he mentioned that, I'd have maybe half a bag of peanuts a night. I'm like, hold on a second now, half a bag of peanuts, let's just rewind that for a second. So 100 grams of cashews. David, do you know how many calories are in 100 grams of cashews? Little did he know, 600 calories, because he never counted his calories there. Okay, so just again, be honest with yourself. If you're mindlessly snacking, what I recommend is track every single thing you eat for at least 7 days. And often your snack calories, they can add up more than your meal calories. In fact, one of the principles that we notice with our clients is that Look, you want to get no more than 20% of your calories from your snacks and 80% from 3 square meals. If you have 3 square meals, big meals, 500-600 calories, I promise you, that will reduce your intake of snacks. So just cut out or reduce your snacking, and if you are snacking foods like a healthy source of protein, like some boiled eggs, maybe a protein shake, or some fruit as well. Now, I'm going to be honest, principle number 6 is something that I would have struggled with in the past, and that was either rewarding myself with food or actually punishing myself with exercise. So I used to sometimes maybe go out on a Saturday, and because I went out on a Saturday, I would do a heavy HIIT session on a Sunday. I mean, I would do an hour and 15 minutes of HIIT, and just completely kill myself. I'd be drenched in sweat afterwards, but what this did was, what did it do? It built a negative relation with exercise, where I essentially exercised to punish myself rather than to prove to myself what my body is capable of. So what I would say is, like, look, while you don't need to be perfect, if you do screw up every now and then, okay, you don't need to punish yourself with exercise. And the flip side, do not reward yourself with food. You're not a freaking dog, okay? Enjoy your food, okay? But there's no need to actually add it as a reward that, okay, after I do this session, I can just eat this slice of pizza. Like, you're just going to be spinning your wheels when you do that. So avoid that at all costs, and also avoid the next thing, and that is number 7, having an all or nothing mentality. This is one of my clients, David, had, okay, where he essentially thought that, look, when I freaking do it, I do it right, I'm 100% all in. But what that led was that, you know what, when he wasn't all in, when he freaking screwed up every now and then, what did he do? Go back to the last one, just binge ate. Okay, you don't need to be perfect to make progress. And what we always say is that, look, if you can be an 8 out of 10 consistently, it's much better than being a 10 for 2 weeks and going from a 10 to a 0. That's why always something, it's better than that all or nothing mentality. And number 8 too, it kind of leads on to this, and that is comfort eating. Okay, so one of my clients, he's a bit of a stressful lifestyle at the moment, he's in his mid-50s, and he just mentioned that he always used food as a coping mechanism. So when he's stressed, he'd have food. When he's feeling good, he'd have food. Basically, food is what gave him comfort. But if you're always turned towards food when you're handled with stress, look, life is going to be stressful. Stress is inevitable. Not all stress is bad, by the way, but when you deal with stress, that's the cue. The routine, what you do after you get stressed, that's completely in your control. So what I recommend is, if you are feeling stressed, do not just turn to food. Things like going for a walk personally helps me a lot. Exercising is a huge stress reliever for me. And maybe things like just deep breathing. 4-second inhale, 4-second exhale. 6 sets of that, and even after 1 or 2 minutes, you'll feel completely relaxed, okay? So try not to use food as a coping mechanism, because again, it just builds a negative relationship with food. Now, when it comes to food, one of the most powerful things we recommend our clients to do is plan tomorrow today. In other words, do not go to bed without knowing what you're going to eat the following morning. So number 9 is that you just have no plan, you're no structure, you're DIYing it. Eating healthy, that is not a meal plan, okay? Eating healthy has no data. There's nothing there you can actually go off. In fact, this is what one of our clients, Johnny, was doing. He was just eating reactively rather than proactively. So basically, he would get up, he would fast, do the intermittent fasting approach, grab a coffee in the morning, and just whatever was on the show, whatever's in the deli, whatever's in, the shop that he was visiting, whatever in the restaurant that was most convenient for him, he essentially ate. Do you really want to be putting your health and fitness in the chef's hand? Do you want to not take control of what foods go into your mouth? What foods do you actually eat on a daily basis? Because if you do, you gotta be proactive and not reactive with this. If you only eat when it's most convenient, if you just guess it every single day and whatever's in the shop you're just gonna eat, chances are you're probably not gonna build a lean, toned, aesthetic physique. That's why never go to bed without knowing what you're gonna eat the following day. It's so fundamental to staying in shape long term. And then finally, the last principle is that you're just tracking the scale weight, you're not focused on fat loss, okay? This, in fact, one of my clients called it that he was confused that, I feel like I'm doing everything right, but I'm not losing belly fat. And you can be making amazing progress. He was losing belly fat, but he wasn't losing weight in the scale a whole lot. So calls before and after here, they're only 6 kilos in the difference. But as you can see, he went from like 25 to roughly 15% body fat, okay? So even though the scale does not paint the full picture, I'm not saying you shouldn't track the scale, but don't have it as your only metric of success. Take your scale weight every single morning, okay, and track your average weekly weight. But also track things like take progress pictures. One of my biggest regrets in my fitness journey is not taking enough progress pictures. I wish I could go back to being small Adrian, which is my nickname back in the day. I wish I could look back at gym footage. So take your progress pictures, monitor your scale weight, track your calories also, and track your lifts in the gym. And the more ways you can measure, essentially the more ways you can win. And that's why there's a big difference between weight loss and fat loss. You can lose weight by just following some of these methods. unsustainable diets, go on keto, slash your calories. You will lose weight, but you'll also lose a lot of muscle. The ultimate goal of this is that you want to lose weight while maintaining your muscle mass. And that is why tracking both your body weight, your body pictures, but also the scale weight is important, okay? So chances are, if you're watching this video, you've made at least one of these 10 mistakes. And again, just knowledge is power. Awareness is power. Most importantly is just take action on it now. What is one thing you can change from watching this video? If you would like a sample meal plan so you know exactly what foods to eat, when to eat, okay, and the kind of foods that we recommend for our clients for a metabolic priming diet. In fact, these foods have helped our clients lose an average 4.1 kilos. Okay, in the first 4 weeks alone. So if you would like access to that, just message me on Instagram, Adrian_MacLifestyleFitness, and just message me YouTube Metabolic Priming Diet. I'll be able to send it over for free. Also as well, please make sure that if you're not already doing so, subscribe to the channel. I post videos every single week, and just the way the YouTube algorithm works is that if you engage more in my content, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment below if you enjoy this video, okay? It's just gonna help and reach more people. And then finally, if you like this video, please make sure again that you check out some of my other socials like my Instagram for daily fitness content, and you hit that subscribe button. But that is all for this video. If you want help with one-on-one coaching, I'll post a link below to our application, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.